is that if you don't plan proactively to have a referral-based business, what will happen is that you won't generate enough referrals, and then by default, you'll have to go buy leads. Now, I'm not against buying leads, but I am if there's low-hanging fruit in your backyard, meaning friends, family, past clients, that you could have easily gotten if you just simply had a system in place to do it. Very excited, guys. It's going to be a great day today, talking about how to really plan for a referral-based business. Actually, very, very excited to share some things with everybody today. So welcome. I know we're going to be live here inside LabCoatAgents very, very soon. So for those that are just tuning in right now, good to have you here. And it looks like we are officially live inside of Facebook. What's up, everybody? Justin Stoddart here. Extremely excited to be with you today. Happy December. It is, we're recording this on the 5th of December. And what a wonderful time of year for all kinds of reasons. Let me just start off by saying this is a great time to separate yourself from everybody else. Many, many agents right now are going on cruise control. Many, many agents right now are taking their foot off the gas and saying, you know what, not a lot happens in December, so I'm just going to really pull back and enjoy the holidays. Now, for those that don't know me, I'm a husband and I'm a father to 6 children. So this time of year is very important to me. Very important to me. I've got all 6 of my kiddos in the same household. And so it's not a time that I want to like mess around and miss these special moments. So I get the importance of the holidays. However, I also recognize that my 2023 is highly dependent upon the start of 2023. And the start of 2023 has already started. What happens when many agents, they will take their foot off the gas and they start to coast, is that come January 2nd, is it they start to come back to the office. They start to work. They start to think about, let's get going, spring season. Most of the transactions happen in the first half of the year. So I'm going to get to work, right? I'm going to really start to get to work. And one of the greatest tricks I can teach you guys is right now is a great time for 2 things. Number 1, to deeply connect with people on an emotional level. And number 2, to fill your calendar in January now. Okay. So let me begin by talking about the emotional connection. You and I both know that there are agents out there who are inferior in skill, experience, a lot of things to you, right? There just are. There's agents out there that are not as good as you, and they will still win because they have the relationship. Now, you've probably won in some cases against agents that may have been better than you. So don't be too judgmental that you've probably been on the other side of the equation, right? You've probably been on the side of saying like, you know what? This is I probably shouldn't have won that, but I did because they're my friend or a family member sent it to me. So that the odds are always in your favor. Can't remember who said that, but it sounds like somebody famous. So that the odds are always in your favor, it behooves you during this time of year to make personal connections. That's the first thing I want to talk about is making personal connections. I actually want to share my screen here with everybody. Personal connections can take on, okay, option A of personal connections. In fact, let's do this. Okay, we're going to call this personal connections. Number 1, you can do it individually. Like actually call, actually text, actually visit, actually invite people to a client event, actually like individually do that. That will have the greatest impact upon people when you personalize what they do. Here's a couple tricks. Go look at their Facebook account first. Go check out what's going on in their life, what's happening in their world. Okay. And then go talk about that. We oftentimes psych ourselves out because we're like, oh, I don't want to be talking about real estate. I don't want to be sales about real estate. Guys, the age-old acronym FORD, right? Which stands for how's your family doing? Really? How's work or your occupation, right? How's work going? Recreation. You guys have anything you're doing fun over the holidays or in January? Great. Speaking of 2023 right here upon us, what are your big dreams or goals for the new year, right? So work, that's occupation, okay, but it's a shorter way of saying it. Excuse me. So FORD, simply make the calls caring about people, okay? This is the way to do this individually, okay? The second way is to actually, oh, here, let me back up here. So B is to use some automation. There are a couple tools that I want you guys to know about. One is called Hit 'em Up. Hit 'em Up. It's actually an app that allows you to do group texting to where you can send essentially the same image and the same message out to a lot of people and still have it feel pretty personal. There's another one called Reach that's very similar. Excuse me. I'm getting pretty excited over here. These are mass texting apps. So at minimum, do something to reach out to people. Right now is a season of separation. You can connect with people on a very emotional level. And if you have time to do individually, do individually. If you don't, and you're already tapped as far as what you have committed, at least use one of these tools to connect with people. Send them an email, sure. People will get your text messages. I had a client of mine just recently, she said, I sent out 250 messages using the tool called Hit 'em Up, okay? So she used that tool right there. She said, I was engaged in 150 text response conversations. Do you know how valuable that is, you guys, to locking in your clients for the upcoming year? Extremely valuable, right? High likelihood that if they're going to do anything in real estate, they're going to do it with this person. Again, we're winning based off relationship here, okay? That's the first thing, okay? So this time of year is a great time of year to make personal connections. Be sure that the default is not, I'm too busy, I'm not going to do anything, okay? Don't let the default be that. Not cool. You're missing on a huge opportunity. You're delaying your big spring to another year because you're delaying, okay? That's point number one, personal connections, okay? Point number two that I want to make is fill your dang calendar now. When you're making these messages, I want you to keep this in mind. Think of a football team. For those of you that are not football fans, bear with me. I'll keep this brief. For those that are, you know what it means when an offense puts somebody in motion. Okay, they're moving this player to this side of the field before the play starts. Okay, gets the defense kind of off-centered, kind of on their heels a little bit. Then something really unique happens when they're moving this person, they're going in motion and they hike the ball and give it to that person that is already going full speed. Okay, now the defense who's not going full speed has to try and catch that person who's already running and now they have the ball. The same can be true for you and your business. If you learn in December to fill your calendar now, fill it now. For example, when you're reaching out to people, whether you're doing it individually or whether you're doing it via an automation way, say like, I sure would love, I know this time of year is very busy, would love to connect. If January is better, let's do that, okay? So this is a way to where when every other agent is coming out of their holiday coma, maybe the first or second week of January, you already have a calendar that's booked. Maybe it's with, with annual wealth reviews, right? Which is essentially an unsolicited CMA, right? Really giving people a good insight as to what they can expect in the new year. So use this time to fill your calendar now, okay? Now, there's something else I want to share with you guys that's been very helpful. This is the third point that I want to make today, is the importance of having a really good plan. I wanted to get some of the tactical stuff out of the way in case you don't make it all the way to the end, but I have something really special to share with you. So you can stay with me for just a few minutes. I want to share with you what it looks like to have a really effective business plan, okay? But again, just recapping, if at minimum, all you do is make a whole bunch of personal connections, right? And fill your point with January, you're off to a great start. Now, for those advanced level that really want to have a killer year, regardless of what's happening in the market, I want to share with you something else. Over the past 8 years, I've been refining a business planning tool called the Think Bigger Blueprint. The Think Bigger Blueprint is something very different than a business plan. I want to give you this analogy. When somebody goes to buy a house, is it a logical decision or is it an emotional decision? If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and put it in the chat, logical or emotional, okay? For those of you that are here inside this webinar, put the chat. Is it logical or is it emotional when people are buying a house? Okay, when you think about that, because I'd love to see some responses. What do you guys think? Put in the chat when someone's buying a home that they're going to live in, 75% emotional. Okay, love it, Jake. Very good. You're right. The numbers have to make sense. And it is emotional for the average person. Good. I agree, Jake. Emotional. Thanks, Gail. Appreciate the response. Emotional, or is it logical? I agree. Investors, right? When they're not buying their home for themselves, it's very, very logical. All right. For people that are buying a home to live in, it becomes emotional. Okay. Now, if you as a real estate agent, if you approach a homeowner with a very logical approach to buying a home, you're missing out on the emotional component. Would you agree? Like, you are missing out on the fact that these people are making a decision as to where they're going to live, where they're going to have their most intimate moments, where they're going to raise their children, where they're going to bring their closest friends, their safe spot on planet Earth, right? Their home. There's nothing more sacred than that. Okay. So if you're going into that logically, the result is you're going to have very little buy-in, right? They're going to have very little buy-in. Whereas if you can really, as an agent, begin to have conversations that stir the emotions of like, look at that backyard. Boy, you could throw a football to those boys in that backyard. Boy, how fun would that be? Look at that fireplace. I bet you could gather around that with your best friends and just have a wonderful time. When you start to have these stories and share these types of experiences, like these potential experiences with people, it becomes a very emotional experience. So here's what I want you to think about. When you have written a business plan that is all logic, in other words, it's just a spreadsheet of numbers. It's just a spreadsheet of numbers. How willing are you to buy in to that business plan? Right? You're asking for buy-in. We know how buyers react. They're emotional creatures. Yet the business plan that we've created to get ourselves to really buy into and do, because you and I both know that if we buy into that business plan, then we'll get results. The reality is we buy in for a couple days and then we forget about it. It's somewhere stored on our desktop. We have no idea where it's at. So what I want to propose to you is that one of the biggest reasons why business plans absolutely fail us is that we fail in writing the right kind of business plan. It's simply a spreadsheet of numbers. It's like what we'd give to an investor who were buying an investment property. It's very logic-based. So there's no buy-in from a consumer who needs to live there, right? This business plan is where we need to live for the next few years, for the next year. So how do we do that? Well, you know, on the other end of the spectrum, it's a dream board, right? It's a vision board. Some of you have made those. You've had experience with those. If you've had an experience making a vision board, put one in the chat. I would just love to hear kind of who I got with me here, whether it's in the chat or whether on Facebook. Put one. Okay, great. Some vision boards out there. Anybody else? Vision board. Have you created one? If so, put one. If no, put two. Would love to hear for those that haven't done it yet. Okay. Gail says one. Okay. Anybody else? Vision board. Have you created one? Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Cindy. All right. So here's what the challenge with a vision board is. It lacks the tactical. Yes, it takes us to a happy emotional place, but then what? Then what, right? Does it actually give us the tools to move forward? An actual, what do I do to go make that happen? We're in a good place. We're feeling committed to making that dream come true, that vision come true, but we're lacking the tactical steps. And so it's part one of a two-part play, right? Of a two-part play. We're in the right mindset. We've got the right belief, the right commitment. I want that thing, but now we need the other side of it. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys a template, and then I have actually a very special introduction or a very special invitation for anybody that's listening today. That's actually happening this coming Wednesday. Okay. So I'm actually going to give you all the opportunity to create what I'm about to share with you. We won't have time to do it today, but I'm inviting you all to join me, and I'm going to give you this template that I've been creating and refining over the past 8 years. Okay. Now, this is the one we used a year ago, so this one is not complete, but it is called the Think Bigger Blueprint. Okay. You'll notice at the top of this blueprint, I have a place for you to put your big why. Now, I'm going to share with you here in a minute what I've done to my blueprint that will show how it's very emotional. It's very much like a vision board. Okay. So I've got 10-year, 5-year, 1 year. We then get into personal schedule, where we're going specifically over the upcoming year. We have a simplified P&L. We have a revenue number. Okay. So now we're getting into the tactical of like actually what percentage of listings versus buyers we need to have in order to get that gross commission right there, right? With our expenses as stated above, so that we get this kind of net income before taxes, okay? Or gross personal income, right? We need to be producing at $194 per hour. In other words, the activities we need to be doing are worth $194 every hour. You realize the filter that produces for you to know what activities you should be doing and which ones you should be outsourcing, delegating, giving off to somebody else. Okay. So this spreadsheet is really designed to be both a fusion between a vision board and a very powerful business plan. And let me give you another analogy here before I go further. Goodness, guys, thank you for your patience with my frog in my throat. Here's the analogy. Many of you are familiar with the Thomas Guide, right? Which was kind of an innovative version of a paper map. Now, you younger agents have no idea what I'm talking about. Bear with me. Okay. So in the olden days, it wasn't that long ago, actually, a paper map was put into a spiral bound book. And you would look, you have to flip the page to look to see where the roads went next, right? Instead of having a giant paper map, they cut it up and put it into a book. So as an agent, right, you had to open up the Thomas Guide, identify where you're at, and then try and remember where you were going. Here's the challenge with most business plans is that they resemble a Thomas Guide, because we create them once and then we never go back to them until the next year when it's time to create them again. And we're trying to go via memory, what we saw on that paper map. And so we easily get distracted. We easily get off track. We easily miss the opportunities that are in front of us, like to actually achieve the goals that we set out. Now, let me take you to 2022, where we all have a beautiful smartphone that has one, if not multiple, map applications on there. Now, how does the GPS on your phone work? It knows instinctively where you're at. You put in where you want to go. It maps the fastest, easiest route to get you to that path. Imagine if your business plan were like that. Okay. Now, what happens when there's an obstacle, AKA rates go up, right? AKA inventory goes down, AKA whatever it is. Okay. What happens? It reroutes you. If you're actually able to look at your GPS / your business plan, you can actually look at where it's rerouting you. In fact, it will speak to you. It will tell you like, traffic ahead. Do you want to accept this new route? Okay. What if your business plan were like that? What if your business plan were really designed to give you feedback? Okay. That you could be altered your course to still get to the same destination. Now, the only way that's going to happen is if you're looking at something frequently enough, right? Even if you have the great tool of a GPS, but you put it under your seat, it's not going to help you much, right? Maybe the audible portion will. But what I want to say is you need to have a tool that causes you to want to go back and look at it. This ties back in with what I said before, which is if all you have to look at is a stale spreadsheet that has just this part, right? And we've all seen business plans that whether they come in a TMI workbook or whether we've all seen this before, right? We've all seen that before. And it's just frankly not very inspiring. Tactically helpful, yes, right? But what it's missing is this bigger component. the big why, the 10-year vision, and the conversation around how to come to those, right? The conversation on how to really uncover your big why, how to uncover what do I want 10 years from now? And then how do I align what I want 5 years from now to where it's aligned with the 10-year and the big why? Okay. Again, picture vision board together with an actual business plan. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing about what I've created here, you guys, is that once this thing will spit out for you how many appointments you need. You see right down here at the bottom. Oops, that's the whole formula. How many appointments you need, right? How many appointments you need to go on to reach your goal. Now, this is somebody's plan. This doesn't have to be yours. But then we start to uncover, okay, how do I get those 4.5 appointments? Where are they going to come from? And we start to identify what are the specific activities that we need to be doing on a regular basis that we're not already doing that are going to get us to that point. So the very cool thing about this process is that it starts off with the emotional to where we have a vision of where we're headed and we get bought in, right? We're a home buyer that wants the house. We want to live there, right? We want to look at this thing all the time. And then it gives us the actual tactical step-by-step that you get to outline and put into place. I want to share with you something else. Okay, so for those of you that are wondering, how does this, like, how do I get my hands on this thing, right? Because I can give you the template, but it's not going to do you as much good as actually having somebody walk you through the process of uncovering this stuff for you. That's really where it gets really fun, is when you have like kind of a narrator or a leader or a guide that's helping to walk you through this component. It's been so fun for me over the years to do probably over 1,000 of these with agents, to where we really get the opportunity to go deep with people and to help them. And to help them to not just have the template, because I can give you the template, like I said, but that's not the point. What I want people to have is actually the experience to uncover this for themselves, okay? Because here's what happens, and this goes back to the whole premise and purpose of this show today, is that if you don't plan proactively to have a referral-based business, what will happen is that you won't generate enough referrals, and then by default, you'll have to go buy leads. Now, I'm not against buying leads, but I am if there's low-hanging fruit in your backyard, meaning friends, family, past clients, that you could have easily gotten if you just simply had a system in place to do them. Does that make sense? Like have your cold lead business be icing on the cake, be a way to scale beyond. Don't have it be a fill-in for the fact that you failed to get the stuff that was right in front of you, okay? So I want to help you to do that. I'm going to give you a link and an invitation. This Wednesday, I'm doing a workshop on this very topic. So Jake, if you maybe post this into Facebook as well, but this will take you directly to the registration page, and anybody and everybody that comes, I'll give you the template and I'll walk you through it over the course of the workshop, 10 a.m. Pacific time this coming Wednesday. We'll walk you through it together. Okay. We'll help you to have access to this template. Okay. So moving back to this template, let me share with you really quickly what I've done with mine. A couple of things. Okay. So not only do I have this, let me come down here. So let me share with you. Here is where I actually have you copy and paste pictures of the internet that are emotionally stirring to you about the life that you want, both in heart, your relationships, both your mind, how you want to think and see the world, your fitness, like your body, how healthy you are, your spirit, your deeper purpose in life, and then your business. Okay. And then we also have inside of here that you'll get access to are some of the ways that where we teach you to go get referral partners, like bankruptcy attorneys, for example, divorce attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors who have the ability to send you a lot of business. So we share some of those tips with you there and actually give you a template to track those things. And then just some overall basic referral business tips. Okay. So let me share with you, because I live what I preach. Let me share with you what mine looks like. Okay. So here's mine. Now, if you zoom in here, you'll see I wasn't lying about having 6 kiddos. Okay. So this is what mine looks like, right? And I've got my economic plan. And then I have very specifically even my schedule. This is what my schedule looks like. Okay. To where it's very scripted for me. Like it's very decided. And that doesn't mean that I don't have flexibility. It doesn't mean that I don't actually add in some additional flavor and spice, but at least by my default isn't aimlessly scroll social media hoping to get business. Guys, that doesn't work. That's what happens when you miss out on all the opportunities that are low-hanging fruit and you end up having to go buy leads because you're desperate, right? Don't do that, okay? So have a daily schedule. Now, let me share with you something else that I'll be rolling out for more private clients here soon that I'm absolutely thrilled about, which is an actual dashboard, right? Which gives me very specifically check boxes, right? So I outline the activities that I'm going to do, and then this gives me a percentage. You can't see it because it's on my iPad as well, but it gives me the ability to have full-on diagnostics. Okay. So if you've ever wondered, like, there's so many things to do in my real estate business, and I just don't have time to do all of them. And I just feel entirely scattered all the time. Lack of focus. Thank you for the question, by the way. Yes, you can, but I'm going to have you come. I don't want to just give you the template. I think I'll do you a disservice. So I want you to at least sign up for the Wednesday workshop. Okay. So hit that link, at least register. Even if you can't make it, I'm happy to give you that. Because if I just give you the template, I'll be doing you a disservice, because I won't be giving you the full description of how it can best serve you. So to answer that question. So if anybody else has the same question, yes, I'm happy to give it to you, but I at least want to have the ability to walk you through specifically how it works, which I won't have time to do today. So imagine going into 2023 and you have a very clear vision of what your big why is. Like, this is what I want my life to be about. If I were to die 40 years from now, and this is what me and my loved ones said was most important to me, I would be very happy with that. Now imagine going out 10 years from now and saying, oh my goodness, this past decade has been unbelievable. This is what my personal life looks like. And this is what my business looks like to support that life. Imagine how you'd feel 10 years from now if you just nailed it this next decade. Now imagine going out 5 years from now and saying, man, the past 5 years were wildly productive. Holy cow, I had no idea what I could do in 5 years. You've heard that said before. We oftentimes overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Imagine going out 5 years from now, looking back and being like, wow, they were right. I can't believe how much I accomplished in these 5 years. Imagine how that would feel to be like, yes, my 5 years were amazing. And imagine how you'd feel knowing that you had the business that supported that. Now, walk with me again. Imagine going out 1 year from now. It's December of 2023. And you're like, holy cow, that was the best year of my real estate career. And looking around, not everybody can say that. Market was tough. Interest rates didn't fix themselves overnight. But man, I had clarity. I had focus. I knew who I was going to serve, and I served them at a high level, and I found my people, and it was a great year. Imagine how that would feel to be getting ahead while many others are struggling. Not that we love other people struggling, but regardless of what's happening, that you win. Imagine how that would feel. And imagine knowing, entering into December of 2022, right? We're here now. Imagine how it would feel to know, like, I have a clear game plan. I know exactly what I need to do. And I have a diagnostic tool where I just check these check boxes, and I trust the process without focusing on the end result. I trust the process, knowing that that was going to produce a result far superior to the one that you get by default, the one that you've been following up to this point. Okay. Imagine how that would feel to be like, I am dialed. Bring on the freaking holidays, baby. I'm dialed. Guys, that's my wish for you. As you saw a picture of my family, right? 6 kiddos and a wife. Like, I want nothing more than to be totally present with my family. Like, totally present. But let's be honest. If business is not where it should be, we feel guilty being present with family. You know it and I know it. We can be there on Christmas morning smiling. We can be there at the Christmas tree farm smiling, but our mind is somewhere else thinking like, where is that next deal going to come from? Or how am I going to keep this deal together? Because I don't have enough. I got to keep this one together. I'm telling you guys, I've been there and it's a freaking rotten feeling. And the only way that we don't have that feeling is if we get our crap together, is we get really clear on where we're headed. We get very clear on having a GPS that knows where we're at right now. And we input specifically where we want to be a year from now that is in alignment with 5 years, 10 year, and big picture, end of life, right? Like once we have alignment with that and we know the activities that we are committing to, we just feel at peace. We can be with family and we can be there knowing that we have a plan and that we're working the plan. And when those holidays come along, whichever ones you worship, whichever ones you celebrate, you can be there for those people. You can be present. I hope you feel the passion I'm feeling right now, because this is important stuff. The people in your life who you love the most want you to be present. That's the present that they want. It's your presence. And if we don't have clarity, we have stress. And we have stress, we're not present. And the people who wanted our presence don't get our presence, pun intended. We can have clarity. Clarity goes up, stress goes down, presence goes up. But we don't get that just by trying to give ourselves happy things to say. We actually put the plan in place. We actually make a commitment. And we actually do some of the work that we talked about at the beginning of the call, which is number one, right? Number one, we make connections this holiday season. Okay. We actually connect with people on an emotional level and we get them bought in to us and we get bought into them to where we want to serve them. We want to help them. And we use this month to fill our calendar. We do those three things. We connect with people emotionally. Number one. Number two, we fill our calendar now for January. And number three, we make a plan, not just a business plan that's going to check the box, make us feel like we did our part and we're not going to look at it forever. No, a freaking GPS that's going to guide us. One that we're drawn to because it's got pictures of people and things that we love the most, right? That we want to go back to because, man, that's our life. That's the life I want. That's why I got into this industry, is because of those things. I'll tell you, my business plan, my blueprint, my Think Bigger blueprint, it's a part of my morning routine. Honestly, it's one of the favorite parts of my morning routine. Do you think I would feel that way if my business plan were just a stale spreadsheet? Now I see pictures. I see places I want to take my family. I see ways I want to contribute to my church and other organizations. I see like the fittest Justin, right? And I see that and I'm like, and I'm visualizing and I'm experiencing this and I'm seeing it, I'm feeling it. And I'm like, dang, this is me, right? Now I'm bought in. Now I'm bought in. And that plan, I'm going to live there. I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to buy that plan, that blueprint. I'm living there. Because once I'm bought in, and you and I know that if we do the work, we're going to get the result. Okay. Jim, thanks for your question. It's posted right up here in the chat. So if you look higher up in the chat, you'll see it there. Oh, there we go. Jake just posted it for us. So it's actually this coming Wednesday. Heads up, everybody. Hit that link, register. I'm going to give you access to the template, just like was requested. It's yours. I'll give it to you. But I want you to also have an explanation of how to use it. Okay. It'll only do you so much good to know how to have it. So that is the link, guys. For everybody that's listening in Facebook, Jake's going to post that as well inside Facebook. Sign up for the, it's free. I'm not charging anything for this. By the way, this is something my private clients pay me good money for. and I'm giving it because I'm a loyal LabCoat agent, friend of LabCoatAgents, right? This is my contribution back to the community, right? Back to this community, is it takes something that I've worked on for the past 8 years to figure out, why do we as agents not do what we know we should do to produce business? Why do agents who want to be referral business end up buying leads that they hate? Right? Chasing people, 3% conversion rate. It's like, what happens? Why don't we just do the things that we know we should do? Well, part of it is because the plan that we've set out for ourselves, we're not bought into it. We don't get the fact that if we do these things, we get these bigger things. We've never put it all together in one big document where it compels us to go look at it every day. You guys, I'm fired up to spend some time with any and all who want to come join me on Wednesday. Regardless of you being able to attend, sign up. And if by chance you can't make it, we'll make a recording. We'll reach out. We'll be in touch. If this is of interest to you, make time for it. If there's no way for you to be there, sign up anyway. That will allow us to be sure and get you the resources to do it. So I'm telling you guys, having a plan that gives you a very successful referral-based business is not complicated. We've done the heavy lifting to put this thing in place for you. So I'm so grateful for you all being here today. Again, my name is Justin Stoddart. I'm the CEO of Think Bigger Real Estate, which is a coaching and consulting platform for the real estate industry. We coach both title reps as well as real estate agents. And it's been a total pleasure to serve you here today. I can't wait to stay connected to all of you. Please reach out, get to know you, get to know me. You find me on Facebook, and I would love to connect with you all. So appreciate you all being here. Thank you, Jake, for being such an amazing host, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.